AI will take your job. AI is here to replace your skills. AI will take over your business. Isn't that what you've been hearing lately? A few months ago, my close friend, James, contacted me one evening. So when I picked up the call, I heard James, and James sounded like a drowning man. Of course, James was drowning. James was a chemistry teacher in a secondary school, and he was having a hard time to balance his work life and his personal life. So James, that evening, throughout the phone call, he was complaining about how overwhelming everything is. He kept murmuring, he kept lamenting, and I asked James a simple question. James, have you asked AI for help? James immediately busted into laughter. He was like, guy, I came here for help. I didn't come here for you to crack a joke. And I told him, I'm serious, James, have you asked AI for help? You know that skepticism we all have when we look at AI? We are like, does this thing really understand what I do? I too was scared of AI. Back to James. So that evening, after a lot of arguments, I was able to persuade and convince James to upload his lesson plans to an AI tool I created for assessment and to enhance learning through quizzes. So James did it, and it helped him create quizzes and exercises to give to his students. Fast forward to the present, James now uses AI to create stunning visuals and images to make learning exciting for his students. Now the question is, did AI take James' job as a teacher? Did it take over teaching from him? Did he start grading his students? I believe we all know the answer to that question. AI acted as a partner. It lifted the heavy weight off James' shoulder, freeing him and giving him enough time to do what he loves most, making learning exciting for his students. I was scared of AI. I was skeptical. When I was 10, I was introduced to the world of coding, and I knew how hard it was. It wasn't easy to navigate that terrain. How will a 10-year-old child understand what was taught to him? But I scaled through. Though the journey was not easy, I scaled through to connect between being a novice and becoming an expert. But in 2022, I heard about AI. This technology was able to replicate my ability in less than a second. Abilities that took me years of hard work to perfect. I was so scared. I was like, how do I even compete with this? Where do I begin? It's faster than me, it's more efficient, and it doesn't get tired. Till I had an encounter with AI. So I was working on a complex project, and I ran into an issue. Traditionally, when you run into an issue, the first go-to then was Google. So you search your problem on Google and start looking for people who have had similar issues in the past and relate their teeth to your problems. Sometimes that process can give you the solution to your problem, and sometimes it leads to despair. And that day, I was slowly heading towards despair till I saw a comment on a Stack Overflow page. That comment dropped a link to a chatbot, and the commentator said, this chatbot can answer any question in the world you throw at it. So I decided to give that chatbot a try. I described my problem, and in less than a second, it gave me the solution. What was taking me about 4 hours to come up with. He did it in less than a second. My brain went, I was wowed. And I saw that this isn't just about my problem. It was a glimpse to how AI can amplify my potential. That moment, I didn't just see it as technology or a matchup of algorithms. I saw it as a partner. In order to understand AI's role, I had to know where it plays in humanity. So I time traveled. I went back to the beginning, thousands of years ago, as humanity's first discovery, the discovery of fire. When we discovered fire, it gave us light, it gave us warmth, it gave us safety. But most importantly, fire sparked curiosity. And curiosity led to the creation of tools. The creation of tools led to agriculture, and agriculture shaped societies. Now, fast forward to the 15th century, the printing press was created. The printing press made knowledge more accessible than ever, and the accessibility of knowledge paved the way to the Industrial Revolution, which brought about innovations like factories and inventions like steam engines, which shaped the world as we know it, clearing the pathway to the digital age, the age we currently live in. This age has witnessed two revolutions. One was about 30 years ago, and one we currently live at the dawn of it. The first revolution was the revolution of the internet. It has shaped our lives. It has touched every facet of human endeavor. But now, we rest at another dawn, the dawn of AI. What is this AI? AI, short form for artificial intelligence. Back in school, I was taught a computer is an electronic device for accessing data, processing data, and storing it for future use. Intelligence, on the other hand, is the application of knowledge to create meaningful results. Knowledge is essentially data to a computer. So artificial intelligence is the ability of a computer to think and apply data which has been given to it to create meaningful results. Now, we can see that this revolution isn't just about computers. It's about empowering machines to think, learn, and assist us humans in places where our intelligence could only work. AI opens doors to opportunities we once thought was impossible. Now think about it. The feats, the achievements we have gathered as human beings, if you try to explain it to someone in the 1950s, they would think this is just childhood fantasies. This can never be real. A few months back, Harvard announced a model that is said to detect cancer with 94% accuracy. Now you can imagine the suffering this will reduce, the lives this will save. This is an example of how AI is here to amplify us. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, envisioned systems like ChatGPT not as a replacement for the workforce or as a replacement to your skills, but as an amplifier of human creativity, an enhancer of our potentials. It was hard for me to adopt AI. I once viewed it as a competitor. I once tried to be better than it. And the bad news was that I failed. I failed to be better than this. But I learned a valuable lesson. The lesson to see it not as a competitor, but as a partner, a friend, an amplifier. I took 3 steps to gain the right mindset to unlock AI's capabilities. in my life. And the first step I took was the step of asking questions. I had a challenge when I started using AI newly. And I believe most of us has that same challenge. I knew my problems, but I didn't know how to translate them into the right questions that will give me the right answers to the solutions I sought after. So how was I able to overcome this? I started breaking down my big problems into smaller chunks and started acting upon them using what and how. Doing that didn't just become invaluable to me, but it later on became invaluable to over 1,000 people that use an AI tool I created to enhance learning and increase navigation through perilous career paths. Using the what and how questions didn't just give me solutions. It laid a clear roadmap to the solutions I sought after. And it took me to the next step, alignment. I had to know my goals. I had to know my priorities, and I had to define my objectives. My objectives were simple. I wanted to create AI-powered solutions for learning. But without alignment, I can't apply AI. So I started out with stating my objectives clearly and connecting it to AI's abilities to achieve them. Doing that landed me on the third step, the step of application. Jerome rightly said, and I quote, "What you don't use, you lose." Application became the bridge between my potentials and my results. I didn't just start creating AI-powered solutions out of thin air. I had to start small. I had to start with automating the tiny little tasks that I faced in my day-to-day life. I started discussing topics I learned with ChatGPT. Then ChatGPT started becoming more than just a tool I run to whenever I have a problem. It became a friend. It became a partner. Doing that helped me scale. And scaling helped me achieve more under short amounts of time. As a student, you can integrate AI into your learning process with systems like ChatGPT or Gemini. As a business person, you can integrate AI into your life to craft out content that can market your product or organize your tax list. But with great power comes great responsibility. AI can destroy the world if humans use it wrongly. The impact AI has on this world depends on the will of its users. If these algorithms are left unchecked, they will cause more harm than good. So we all have to own it. And as we unleash AI in our day-to-day life, we must ensure that it reflects the best of us. Our story from fire to AI tells us something important. Innovation isn't just about technology. Innovation is about humanity. It's about how we use technology to impact the world around us. So I leave you with this challenge today. Embrace AI not just as another cool technology or as a tool. Embrace it as a partner. Embrace it as an ally. Embrace it as a friend. Explore its possibilities. Use it to solve what matters to you. Use it to unleash the best version of yourself. And as we do that, we clear a roadmap to a new and brighter future. A future where humanity's best values is expressed broadly. Thank you.